Hello. So I was a chef and I love baking bread and making pizza, but the hardest thing is getting the bread in and out of the oven. What I need is a pizza pill, so I've got some scraps of oak and sapele that I can make it out of. It's all rough sawn, so the first job is to get it planed down and get two sides square to each other. With two edges now square to each other, I get the table saw set up and rip them into some strips. Now you want a bread or pizza peel to be as thin as possible, but also I don't want the wood to warp, so I think I'm going to go for just over 1 centimetre, and then I've got a bit of room for some sanding afterwards. I now have two piles of strips the same thickness. Now one bit is longer than all the others, so that is going to go in the centre as the handle. Now I can lay out the pattern and see what I've got, alternating between the two different woods. Right, this is all bigger than it needs to be. Length is not a problem, I can trim that off later, but width is about 47 and I only need it to be 37. So I'm just going to trim a little off the edge boards. Now to glue it up, the hard thing is going to be keeping it flat. So what I've got is some other bits of wood. Now I'm going to get these put down first and then the pieces put on top of this, glued up, and then I'll put another piece on top and get them clamped. That seems to be pretty flat, so I'm just going to leave it now overnight to glue up. This should be all dry, so now, moment of truth, clamps off, let's see if it's all held together and is flat. It's come out okay. Almost use it as it is. So it needs some shaping. I'm going to start with the easy win, and that is I want this edge just to be straight. So I'm going to use the track saw to get that cut. The easy bit done. Now for some more shaping. So I want the main body of this to be square, so I can get that marked out. At the moment, this is a bit girthy for me to get my hand around. Not a problem, I'm used to. So I think I'm going to take about 1 centimetre off each side. Right, the main body's marked out and how thick I want the handle to be. So now I need a transition between the two bits. So I've just got a colander. I'm going to draw around to put a nice curve. One more thing I'm going to add, and that's I've just got a cookie cutter. I'm going to draw around at the end of the handle, so it's just not straight. It's going to have this little knobble at the end, and then I can drill a hole through it later so it can be hung on the wall if wanted. With it all marked out, now I'm going to use the bandsaw to get it cut out. I've given the whole thing just a rough sand down to remove all the glue and get it flat. So now I can get a hole drilled in the end of it so that it can be hung on the wall. I want to round over the edges now, but I'm not going to round over the front face. I'm just going to do the other sides on both sides. So I haven't done anything on this front edge, and that's because I want to cut quite a steep angle on it. So when you're getting the bread out, it will slide up onto this. Now, I've been having a think on how to do it. I reckon you could just sand a wedge onto it. You could use a rasp, you could use a hand plane, but what I'm going to do is use the table saw. Now, it means I need to tilt the blade over to, I reckon, 10 degrees. And I really need a zero insert plate. I don't have one, but what I do have is a little scrap of MDF. So I'm going to get that clamped onto the table and then raise the blade at 10 degrees through it. That worked really well. Now, I'm not going to say I recommend you do that at home. There are safer ways of doing it. Now, I've definitely got some burning on the end. I probably need a new blade. So, it will need another sand down anyway, so I'm going to get that done. Last job now is to get some finish applied, and I'm going to go for some beeswax oil because it's food safe. I'll put a link down below to this. I've made a dough and I've left it to rise overnight. Now I just need to get it shaped. I think I'm going to divide it into two, make one large loaf, and then make some mini little baguettes as well. I tend to do this rough shaping, leave it for a little bit to rest, and then come back and do the final shaping. This has all had a chance to rest, so now give it its final shaping. Whilst I wait for all that, I'm going to heat the oven up. So what I've got is a cast iron griddle, ribbed on one side but flat on the other, and I'm going to use this as my baking stone. So I'm going to get that in the centre of the oven and get it heating up. These have all risen, so now I can get my pizza peel out. It's got the two sides, the one with the slope and then the totally flat side. So I'm going to start with the totally flat side to actually get them in there. And what I've got is some semolina. Semolina is like little tiny marbles. So it's going to do two things. It's going to stop my bread sticking to my board, but the dough is going to run along this like it's on marbles and slide off. Well, that's the theory anyway. I need to score the bread, put some slashes on it so that the steam can escape from it. And what you use is a lame, which is a razor blade. Okay, this is moment of truth. I've got that griddle heated up. I've got a jug of cold water to pour into a pan at the bottom to create some steam. So let's see if we can get these off into here in one piece. I think I definitely need to improve my technique of getting them off there, but we've still got one more loaf to go. Right, getting these out, I'm now going to use the shovelly bit. Oh yeah, seems to work well. I think I might have been a bit aggressive scooting those baguettes off and actually kind of rammed some into the end and kind of crushed them a little. So let's see if we can do a better job with the loaf. Let's see if we've done a better job with the bread. Yeah, not looking bad. So I think my technique of getting the bread in and out of the oven needs a bit of improvement, but it all came out okay. I would like to try doing a pizza on this, but I think I need to practice a bit more first. But I think this would just be a nice thing to hang on the wall. It'd be great to put some canapes on or snacks on at a party. Yeah, just a practical thing. So, thanks for watching, and I'm going to have a sandwich now.